Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of the No ID podcast. This is season 6. It is I, your guest, Rome Davis, the one and only. I have here fellow podcaster, it's Michelle.
Hey,
How you doing today?
good. How are you?
I'm all right. Let's go ahead and get into it. What made you get into podcasting?
All right, so I started podcasting after my first semester of nursing school. It was a disaster. It was a disaster. I did very well. I passed my first semester. Not many of the girls I was with did. But I decided not to go back to the school because they weren't as supportive as they should have been.
Okay.
You know, like it was COVID. A lot of the females there were having like mental breakdowns, going to the hospital, anxiety attacks because the work was very hard. Yes, exactly. We started off with a class of 40, I want to say.
Okay.
You have like this period where you can kind of like drop out if you think you're not going to pass. Mm-hmm. We ended up with a class of 20 at that point. Like everybody was like, nope, it's not going to work. And towards the very end, there were only about 10 of us in the class and only 5 passed. And I was one of those 5. It was terrible. It was horrible. Many of the girls, I told you, they were in hospital. Like we didn't have any support. Girls started talking to therapists, taking pills. And I said, ooh, for nursing school? I said, I know it's hard. I know the work is hard. We were remote. But I was like, these girls, like they would call me and tell me like, we don't know what to do. A lot of the girls were like cutting their hair off because I said, no, not for school. This is impossible. There was like no empowerment. And I felt like I was contributing to that in a weird way because although I would speak out and say, these girls, like they're not doing well. Something needs to change. They would literally blow me off. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. If you're not built for this, then you shouldn't be in the school. So I said, okay. Once I was done, I said, I don't think I can go back. I don't think so. And don't get me wrong, it's hard to make that decision. It was easier for me because I do have that support system. Like my fiance is here and he said, listen, if you don't want to go back, let's figure it out. And I tapped into like that creativity. Podcasting was always in the back of my mind. And I said, screw it. This is what I want to go for. And he put the nail in the coffin. He said, if this is what you want to do, let's work at it. And that's how I started.
Definitely. So what's the name of your podcast and what's it about?
Its.mi.chelle, and it's a play on my name because my name is Michelle, and I'm Hispanic, I'm Dominican. So the me is in Spanish, so it's M-I, but that's also how you spell Michelle, and me means my in Spanish. So it's me-chelle means it's me, Shell.
I want to say something to you because every time I post something, I get a notification saying that you liked it, and I appreciate it. So I try and definitely like your stuff back. So I appreciate you. I try and show love back. So hopefully you bring me on your podcast one day.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, definitely.
What challenges have you experienced since you've been podcasting? What do you like about it and what don't you like about
it? I hate the editing process. Man, listen, having to edit and living in an NYC apartment where you hear the fights going on outside, you hear the police going by, and you hear the doorbell going off. So I have to definitely find a good time to do that. So editing is definitely my biggest challenge. But I just love getting like behind the mic and just expressing myself. I love doing that. I think that's a lot more fun than anything else. Sometimes I'm just like, well, you know what? I'll leave it unedited. But you really hear like the dogs barking and then you hear the owner screaming at the dog. I was like, yeah, I can't leave this in. I got to take this out. That's New York for you.
The thing I hate the most about podcasting, I would say, is like the social media. I'm not really big on social media at all.
I understand that. I didn't have any social media up until I started the podcast in April of 2021. I had no social media. I had no Facebook. I had nothing. I know. So that was the first thing I had to do research on. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, just promote myself. And then COVID. So it's not like I'm outside promoting myself. So I was just like, okay, I'll try this. The overwhelming feeling I had, I'm just like, nobody's following me. I don't know what to do. I don't know when to post. I was looking up analytics. I'm like, I'm going to drive myself crazy. So I said, you know what? Forget this. I'm going to do this without social media. And then that didn't work. Yeah, I kept telling my fiance, I was like, I don't need social media. Social media needs me. He's like, no, don't. That's not. Just... But it's a little better now. But I can't stand social media, so I understand where you're coming from.
I can't stand like the posting. Like I just got in the habit of maybe because I was home for a while, like of like reposting old clips. Click the link in the bio. And then they're like, oh, make sure when you post it, you do a reel and then you add all the hashtags. And I don't know if you get those, hey, promote this on Miami Inc. USA. Hey. Share this.
Can't stand. I'm like, they have to be bots. They have to be, because every single time, like, I don't even press post like quick enough. And they're already on the comment section about, oh, we love your stuff. Post on Miami Inc. Yeah, or post on ENT Entertainment. I'm just like, who are you people?
And then I get those DMs. Hey, I can promote your podcast. And they're following 5,000 people, but only have 2 followers. I'm like, there's no way.
How is that possible?
You can promote me
with 2 followers. There's just no way. If everybody's following you, yes, that does get very frustrating. It happens to me all the time. Oh, do you have Apple Podcasts? I can promote you on Apple Podcasts. Just send me your link. And I'm like, well, if you're here, you could just click the link in the bio. Why are you telling me to send them? I'm just like, you know what? This seems very sus to me. I'm all right. I respectfully decline.
Have you had any like guests, or are you just solo? Like, let the listeners know.
So I am solo, but I am getting into the habit of having guests. So right now, I don't know if you know Kendra Crump, comedian down in Atlanta. So I had her. I've definitely been guests on other people's shows. Like I've been on Nay the podcast, AJ Presents a Greater Good. Who else? The Zaya Show, and now yours. So thank you. But it's mostly solo. Usually my fiance, if I'm doing bonus episodes, and he's a photographer, so he's trying to get into all this stuff as well. We do episodes together, which have been very, very fun. But for the most part, I'm pretty much solo.
Yeah. I went solo. I started this like 2 years ago. I went solo and I was reaching out to guests. And like my first guest was my mom.
Listen.
I had to reach. Then it was my sister. Then it was my aunt and uncle. Then it was one of my friends. Then it was my cousins. Then it was a coworker. And I was like, yo, this is like my first season, right? And then I just reached out. I was like, somebody says, just send DMs. So I had reached out and I had Sydney Starr.
Okay.
Most humble person off the camera. On camera, it's like really? A switch. Yeah, it was a switch.
That's terrible.
Damn, I had one lady that was like 66 or 67 years old. She was doing softcore porn. I know you see my posts, and I know my shit is wild.
Absolutely. You have some wild. That's when you reached out to me. I was like, well, I'm a simple lady. Listen, I enjoy it though. I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, okay, go ahead. And I'm just like, I don't know. It's just me.
we're just chopping it up. Like, she was 66 years old and she did softcore porn. And she had her OnlyFans. I think it was like Sexy Ciante or something. And I was like, would you like to be a guest on my pod? And she said, yeah, you just got to subscribe to her OnlyFans. OnlyFans with my bank account, it goes together. But then I get those text messages saying, hey, did you make this charge? And I'm not even gonna tell the bank that it was me. I'm gonna let the shit just fall off because at that point it's embarrassing because most of the guests that I had up there, I had to subscribe to their OnlyFans just to get them on the pod.
Right. Okay.
And so me and her like got the number and we're like texting back and forth. And I'm like, well, it's unscripted, it's unedited, and I'm gonna ask you your top 5 comedians. I don't want to do that. Ooh. I said, okay, you don't want to ask the top 5 comedians? No. I need all your questions first. And I'm going to pick out the questions of what I want to answer and what I don't want to answer.
Okay.
And I don't usually say this about women. I say, this bitch, she about
Sometimes that's okay. Listen, she does softcore report. Like she really needs to go through the questions.
67 years old. She was like posing naked on her. I ain't gonna lie. She was stat.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
I'm like, damn, I'm thinking to myself, she fucking her money up because she got OnlyFans and Social Security, probably a pension and a retirement.
She could only make a minimum amount.
So like her OnlyFans was $5. So I'm like, damn.
Oh, okay. She had to be cheap because if not, she goes over. They're gonna take all the benefits away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, send me a picture that I can use for the soundbite. I'll wait till after the interview and then I'll let you know. I'm like, I said, you know what? I said, yo, God gonna bless you. Because I ain't about to do this. This shit. I said, and it was over multiple conversations. Yeah, I just got that gut. Have you ever had that gut feeling like this episode ain't about to happen?
Yeah. Or like this episode don't sound too good. Maybe I should put this one away in the vault. Definitely. Yeah, I'm just like, this one doesn't sound like a good one. I'm gonna save this for later.
Well, boy, man, I don't think people realize how hard it is to podcast. And then if you're like by yourself, you ain't got no co-host, and you interviewing people, they don't realize how difficult that shit can be, bro.
They really don't. They really don't. They think it's easy and it's a conversation. I'm just like, well, sometimes I'd be more nervous than the guests. I'm just like, oh, I'm going to mess this up. I'm going to say the wrong thing. I'm going to call them the wrong pronoun. Like, it's just too much going on. It's too much going on for me. Like, what am I doing? And that's a lot of, and people find it so awkward. Like if they want to be a guest, I'm always like, okay, sure. I have like a list of questions that I ask. I'm like, okay, what are your pronouns? Because I don't want to and I even put my reasoning behind, like, I don't want to disrespect you. So you just let me know. Like you ask me, what are the do's? What are the don'ts? What are you comfortable with? How do you pronounce your name? Because I'll be the one to mess up your whole thing. Like if the shit is not phonetic, I'm gonna mess the whole thing. I'm just like, oh, just please send it to me send it to me through voice because I will call you something else. It's hard.
I had Diallo Riddle on my podcast and I didn't know how to pronounce his first name. So if you listen to the interview, now, I've been watching his shows, all his work, and I've never heard him say his first name. So if you hear the first part of the interview, I don't say his name. I let him say it. I had Michael Collier on my podcast, right? Now, big fan because the comedy scene. I said Mr. Michael, I think I messed his name up one time. Bruh, when we got off the interview, he cussed me down. He cussed me down on his morning show. Before his morning show, he cussed me down. He came here to Virginia Beach and performed. I dap him up. I'm like, hey, Michael Collier, is me wrong? You remember me? And he's like, he said, who the fuck is you, nigga? And I'm like, who the fuck is you, nigga? Like the Norfolk came out. And he go, oh, I said I was on your morning show episode. Da-da-da. Oh, yeah. He's a funny little nigga. And I'm sitting here like,
what I do?
yeah, OG. So I was like, fuck it. I ain't
What
about
do
to
you
argue.
do?
Well, I ain't about to argue with that dude. So
Oh,
you're originally from New York?
yes.
Born
and raised.
I keep seeing you laughing, showing off your rock, like with your engagement ring.
Oh.
You did it like 8 times. I ain't want to call you on it, but
It's okay. It's all right.
Like my fiance.
Well, you know, it's so funny. I say that. Well, I used to say that a lot in the podcast because, you know, people, it's annoying. I'm not going to lie. It's annoying. And sometimes if people ask me, oh, describe yourself, the first thing that comes out of my mouth sometimes is, I could be a little obnoxious sometimes, but I mean, well, it's just who I am. So every episode, it was just like, oh yeah, me and my fiance. I just kept saying my fiance. And I was like, I know this is annoying, but I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna I was like, I'm gonna be annoying and y'all gonna love me for it. And it's gonna be over soon.
I kept peeping. I'm like, what? Stunning on you hoes. Oh, okay, all right.
Talk about she got an OnlyFans.
I saw it. See, that's exactly what I saw.
You see?
Okay. I know you engaged. I saw you. I saw you and your fiance on IG. I think I like the status.
You did.
I already know who he is.
You're right. Like, I know he exists, girl. Put your hand down.
No, baby, I ain't trying to holler at you. I just want to interview.
Right.
It's all good. I'm just joking with you. How long y'all got a date set yet for your engagement? Or?
It keeps changing because of COVID and because we wanted to do a destination wedding, and I'm really afraid of it not working out. So at this point, we're really interested in purchasing a home about maybe I want to say like a year and a half from now. Mm-hmm. So we're thinking about just doing it at home, kind of like, you know, we purchased a home, we're getting married here, and then maybe just doing like a big vacation with like friends, and that'll be like vacation / honeymoon and just go out and have a blast, because right now it's just not worth it. It's too much going on.
Man, don't live your life in fear because of COVID.
No, but I just think others, like, we're okay, we're fine, we do whatever we have to do, we stay safe, but everyone else, I'm just like, all right, I guess. But it's okay. Save some money that way too. I feel like big weddings are so overrated. You spend all your money on a humongous wedding. You don't even get to enjoy it half the time. And everyone I speak to who's already married, they're like, yeah, we wish we had something small, intimate, and spent the money on something else. So I'm just going to learn from that.
That's true. So y'all when you buy, you going to stay in New York? You going to like move?
We're looking in New York, but further up north, like maybe 2-3 hours away from where we are now, because we're like right in the city. Mm-hmm. We're trying to move up. I'm tired of the city. Yeah, we're going up north. I'm tired of the city. I can't stand, the people are getting on my nerves. It's just, there's too much commotion. I'm just like, no, I'd rather just be by myself somewhere. It's too much. It's too much. Oh, every time I think about it, I'm like, you know what? Fuck New York now, but it's okay. Just kidding, NYC.
That's all good. Y'all going crazy right now with that bing bong.
Fuck your life. And as soon as I heard that, I said, that has to be some Coney Island. And as soon as I saw, I was like, of course it's Coney Island. It's Ratchet City over there. Of course it's Coney Island. Of course. Every time they made Christmas music out of it.
Stop playing.
I'm not even. They made Christmas music out of it. That's what it is. That's what New York is known for. That's all we're known for now. Bing bong.
The
whole city's known for bing bong.
I got so lost in that page. One day at work, I was just going through. I think I got all the way back to like when the page first started, and I got so entrapped into that shit.
Yeah,
and they had the Knicks game going on. Fuck Trae Young. Trae Young looks like my daddy's dick.
Oh my gosh! Did you see
OT.
Right? Did you see when they all gathered up and they were like, "Oh, we have a new mayor for New York, Bobby Shmurda." I said, "Yo, get the fuck out of here." This can't be real right now. This can't be real.
And y'all rough out there, boy.
Yeah.
And then in the video, the dude that said, "What's up, baby? Take me out to dinner." They had an interview with dude actually because he was so popular. He's not homeless no more.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
he got the key. You saw the keys? He was like, "Thanks to these are the keys to my new apartment." I'm just like, all right, listen, New York is making it happen. Ping pong. Like, I guess.
And she was crazy. I was like, oh, like, we outside.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
It's a little intense. Mm. Yeah. Listen, we have a new mayor. Let's see what's gonna happen. I don't know. It's a little wild.
Maybe he'll come out and be like, "Bing bong." I mean,
exactly.
Fuck your life.
Fuck your life. That's exactly what I feel he's gonna say. Why not?
What's your mayor's name? What's the new mayor's name?
The new Eric Adams.
Oh, take me out to dinner.
Bing bong. He was, what was he? He's retired NYPD. Okay. And I believe he's also retired like MTA, like our subway system. I think he worked for them too. I'm not sure. I don't know. But supposedly he's very strict and he don't play no games. Let's see. I don't know.
Shit, it was like that in Virginia. And then we lifted the mask mandate over the summer. I said, yeah, I'm about to get me a fucking mask. I'm going to get me some more fucking masks. I know Virginia. I know how we roll over here. So I was goddamn, they was $5. I was copping them. I was hitting up people like, yo, bro, I got some masks for the low. I got you. Just cash at me, you know what I mean? Apple Pay me. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, it's a new variant out and COVID cases have rallied. I was like, ain't this about a bitch?
My favorite is when, I forgot who it was, came on and was like, oh yeah, if you have those cloth masks, they're no good for the new variant. I'm like, bing bong. Defeated. Like, this just, I don't even know what to do anymore.
People used to call me a hater for not getting the cloth mask too. Because I was like,
really?
Yeah, I've never been to the doctor. I've been going to the doctor for 32 years. I've never seen my doctor wear a Gucci mask or a Nike check mask that says stay 6 feet away from
me. Right? Got leopard print. Like, I never.
Yeah, I noticed how after I stopped talking about the ring, she using the other hand now.
You see that, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
I just like to make everyone. I like to make everyone. Look, you can't even see it.
First of me, only
her SSI checks.
They got a mask. Other hand, oh no!
Oh my god! Doctors.
Bing a bong.
Bing bong.
Damn. Are you in sports? You watch sports? Anything? Or?
So I used to be a big football. Yeah, I used to watch football all the time, but I've definitely just fallen off. Like, I'm really focusing so much on like writing and podcasting. And I'm just like, I don't need to really watch TV. Although I've been crazy addicted to Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, man.
When I tell you, well, you know what? When we do our top, but Larry David, there's just something about it. I'm just like, yo, you sure you not maybe a little bit black? Because it's just something about you. Larry David, man. Larry David. He makes the awkward and uncomfortable. And I like that.
Larry David, I think he wrote or produced or probably both Seinfeld.
Yes. He did.
He's a genius. And then JB Smooth is part of it. He's genius.
And I love them together. They're so good together.
That watermelon shit had me so weak. I can't eat fucking watermelon in front of white people.
Right. They're too good together. Like, they're good. They're good. There was this episode where he goes, yo, so he's talking to him. He goes, nah, Larry, because, JB be talking like 100 miles an hour. You would think JB's Dominican. He'd be like, no, Larry, because he goes, am I your nigga? He goes, yeah, Larry, you my nigga. He goes, I'm your nigga. I'm like, nah, Larry David must be Black somewhere down the line. Like, there's something there, but it's okay.
Have you watched Southside on HBO Max?
No. Should I?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's that Larry David Seinfeld type of humor, but like Diallo Riddle did his thing. It was funny shit up there, boy.
Really? All right. So I'll get into it.
Oh, wait, you got HBO Max?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm about to put you on the game. I'm about to say, if you ain't got it, you gotta watch it. Go ahead, create your new Gmail account and sign up for that free.
Yeah. What's funny? I was gonna say too, like, I actually have HBO Max. It's not the free subscription, so it's okay. I got you. I can watch it.
Did you get into the whole Insecure crave too?
I did, but I stopped at like season, I want to say 2 or season 2. Yeah, I stopped. Sometimes I need a break. And then when I give myself a break, I don't get back on things right away. I don't know. And I swear, like I don't know. Have you seen Cobra Kai?
I did when it was on YouTube. I just stopped watching.
I saw the whole first season and I was very excited for the second season. I'm like, all right, little kids kicking ass. All right, that's cute. And second season's been out. And I'm just like, I just don't want to. I don't know why I do that. I'm just like, I need a break.
Did you watch True Story with Kevin Hart and Wesley Snipes on Netflix?
That was very impressive.
Thank you.
I did. Go ahead, Kevin Hart. It gave me, I was anxious the entire time. I'm like, oh, they're going to get caught. I'm like, oh man, I couldn't breathe. Wesley Snipes, he did a great job. I'm like, oh, he's really that mooch big brother. Like he did a good job. I actually enjoyed it.
I did too. Do you find let me ask you a question as far as podcasting. If you watch a podcast on YouTube, do you find yourself just constantly watching other people's podcasts? A little too.
Yeah. I'm just saying, but I mostly watch because I'm just like, okay, well, what can I do to up my game? And I start watching, but then you go down a rabbit hole and you don't stop. It'd be hours. The kids, Mom, we hungry. I'm like, all right, 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes turns like 5 more hours. Like I have to be ripped because you go down a rabbit hole and that's what happens. That's why I can't stand social media, the internet, because once you start, there's no stopping.
What podcast you been watching, like rabbit holing into?
Let's see. So there's these girls. They're called, I want to say, Bottled Up Bitches. I don't want to say it wrong. I think that's them. Their stuff is a little crazy because I think they're like married and they talk about crazy sex stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see yours because I'm telling you, you're a guest. They really be, yeah, listen. You got some interesting people.
Yo,
don't shake your head.
That shit don't do nothing for my love life, man. I'm just gonna keep it real, boy. I told my old lady, I was like, yeah, I'm interviewing a dominatrix.
That one was very interesting.
I said, I'm interviewing a foot fetish model.
Yeah, and I saw your little snippets and your little clips. I'm like, oh, I think I know what we're gonna be talking about.
I'm interviewing a porn star. I was like, yo, I said,
she's looking at you like, nah, you're doing this on purpose.
If she ever leaves me, if we ever break up, because I will be in so much trouble. Because I've lost interviews based off of ass on my podcast. It's like, I don't think this fits my image. I'm sorry. I'm like,
okay.
I'm good. I'm like, damn, you don't even know what I'm talking about up here.
Right. Like, I just want to get to know you. Let's talk about you. Nah, I saw that booty twerker you had on the other day. I'm good.
I had no. I've been kicked off of Facebook or Facebook jail. I've been reported on IG. My shit been pulled down on Twitter. I'll be having a fight with YouTube. I'm like, yo, nobody is doing nothing. And I'll never forget, I had this joint called the King Talk with a girl named Satan's Fruit Gush. Automatically trouble.
Of course.
My old lady pulls up the shit at her job. This before we start dating. And she starts talking about sticking the carrot up a dude's ass. And I'm like, she said, I had to turn it off. What is wrong with her? What are you doing? I'm like, it's about to get even wilder. I'm sorry. This is a rabbit hole.
You have to keep explaining yourself. How you have to have a disclaimer to everybody and your family. Like, all right, listen, this episode, you might not want to listen to this one. You know what? It happens like that sometimes. It's all right.
I remember she had the hood on for the dominant. She did. She had the whole.
It was shiny. Nice. She cleaned that bitch before she put it on. It was nice and shiny. All I saw was this. She was like, wow. She had the ponytail, I think, too. I was like, all right.
She's a good, she cool as shit.
She sounded like it though. She sounded like it, very relaxed, very laid back. She's interesting. It's all right.
What's the hot toes? And man, I ain't never sucked my girl toes for you. Was a motherfucking lie.
Lie.
Oh my God. Listeners out there, I'm just gonna let you know it is gonna get darker, wilder. Not this season, next season. I got something crazy coming up there. So, well.
Really? Oh, I'm excited. It's all right.
It's gonna be out there. Don't slide in their DMs neither. So, and don't slide in Michelle's DMs neither, because she's gonna put the ring in your face.
Please, I know I'm gonna be busy.
Bing bong.
Bing, fuck your life.
Oh, that shit crazy. So I'm gonna ask you this question. I'm gonna ask you two questions. Your top 5 podcasts that you watch, you ain't gotta say no ID. And then your top 5 comedians, dead or alive, in any order, with a 6-man coming off the bench. Let's go ahead and start with those podcasts.
All right. So I've definitely listened to AJ the Greater Good. He's funny. Nay, the podcast, the Zaya Show. We got the Bottled Up Bitches. And I'm going to mess this name up. And the only reason I'm going to say is because I really enjoyed that interview with Kanye. I try to stay like within the smaller like podcasting communities, because that's who kind of like we all support each other. So I try to stay within, like I try not to branch out to these big names. Like I hate Joe Rogan. Shout out Joe Rogan. I can't stand you. But I can't remember the name of this podcast.
Drink Champs.
Yes. I really did appreciate that interview with Kanye, because it's the first time that I think I saw him act normal. And I was like, he must be high, because he took all his meds. He got a good 8 to 12 hours of sleep. And he was like, he was healthy. And I really enjoyed it. I learned so much from what he was saying. I was like, all right, maybe you're not, as crazy as everybody thought you were. But then he did something like the very next week. I'm just like, oh, here we go. He didn't take his meds, but that's all right. Those are my top 5 right now.
I watch Drink Champs faithfully. They got to have a guest that I can relate to.
Right.
85 South Show, of course. Nick Cannon's podcast, Cannon's Class.
Mm-hmm.
But he had Kanye West on that podcast too.
Did it go? So I didn't watch. Did it go good? How did it go? Was it awkward?
The same thing he said on Drink Champs was the same thing he said on Cannon's Class.
PR. See what I'm saying? They wrote all it out for him.
I think that interview came out like 2 years ago. He sat down with him. Damn. Well, and Breaking the Machine when I can catch him. If I feel like watching it. But I try and support some of the ones that's smaller. But you gotta have some content. Like yours is decent. I like yours. But then I get like those crazy ones that just they'll slide in my DMs. I'm like, yo, follow my page. I'm like, you ain't following me, so I'll follow you.
Same here. Or like, hey, follow for a follow. And I'm like, all right. And I do follow, and then a week later they're like gone. I'm just like, don't do that. Because I will delete you. Like, you're gone. I'm gonna delete you. I will find you and delete you.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
I can't stop saying this shit.
It's addicting. It's addicting. It really is. Sometimes I catch myself cooking and like something splatters on me. I go bing bong, and my daughter comes out. She's like, "Really? Are we really doing this?" I'm just like, "I'm just kidding."
I thought your daughter was gonna come out and be like, "Fuck your life." I was like, "Oh Lord."
No. Imagine that's true Coney Island, New York status.
Oh God. Oh, that's all good. So I know this question is gonna be what I was gonna ask you. I always ask everybody this. Your top 5 comedians, dead or alive, with a starting 6 man in any order.
Okay. All right. So Dave Chappelle, because I have to. John Leguizamo. Right? Bernie Mac. Ricky Gervais. Right? Robin Williams. And Larry David.
Wow. Nobody never said John Leguizamo. He don't get credit neither.
And I think that's why. Like, I've been watching him since I was very young. I love his like one-man monologues. Like he's very, very underrated. But he's so good.
Yeah, because he did that. Well, I saw The Pest. I wasn't, but the movie he did with Fat Joe, he died at the end. I think it was Empire or something like that.
Empire, yeah. He's underrated. He really is underrated. Absolutely. He's underrated. And I also feel like being Hispanic, like just having somebody from the Latino community kind of representing that, because he's like old funny. And I don't even know how to explain this. Like, he's funny, like 1990s funny. And you don't really get that anymore. And I'm just like, yeah, John Leguizamo, you're it. Go ahead. Yeah.
Damn, my list changes every week. Every episode. But I always keep 2 in there. And I got to add a 3rd one in there that's going to have to stay there. So we got Michael Collier, of course, D. Militant, Nori Davis, Ali Sadiq, Mexican Got on Boots, if anybody has up there. Jerry Seinfeld. Coming off the bench is going to be very controversial. It'll be Dave. Dave Chappelle will come off my bench.
Really?
Yeah, Dave Chappelle will come off my bench. Definitely.
Okay.
Just keep my real.
All right. I'd be like, okay.
What advice do you have to those listeners out there that want to start a podcast or want to get into it? What advice do you have to those people out there that's trying to break into the game?
I mean, just put it out there. The more you sit back and think about it, the more you try to make it perfect, the more you try to like figure it out, the longer you just procrastinate. So just do it. Put it out there. You gotta, you mold it as you go along. You figure it out. You'll fall wherever you need to fall in, and bing bong, You say that, yeah, fuck your life. It's like, ma'am, we don't want to start a podcast when you say that. Nah, just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
If anybody wants to follow your page or get in contact with you, where do they follow you at? What's your handles?
So Instagram, its.mi.chelle. And I always spell it out because people are like, itsme. I'm like, its.mi.chelle. And if you click the link on my bio, all my other socials are there. I always say that because people are like, well, what's your Facebook? Just go on there, click the link, click all the other stuff, and you'll find it. You'll be all right.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
Make sure you do that. Like, share, comment, subscribe to her content. Repost it if you have to. We trying to make it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Also, I know it's gonna be a plug, but your fiance is a photographer. Where can they find his work at? How can they follow him too?
Same thing. So Instagram, it'll be __Shanes.focus. And that's for Instagram. And he has the same stuff. You go on there, you click all the links you have to, and you'll find him. Oh, thank you so much. That's very sweet.
We'll get him up here one day.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you're single, you don't have anybody, fuck your life.
Fuck your bing bong.
To the listeners out there, if you want to follow me, it's going to be strictly_Rome. That's on IG and Twitter. The podcast page, my comedy page is going to be that's strictly_Rome. If you want to follow the podcast page, it's No ID Podcast on IG. On Facebook, I do spell it proper. I do add the periods into there. So no space I.D podcast on Facebook. Make sure you go to YouTube as well too, or hit the link in the bio. My YouTube is youtube.com @NoIDMediaTV. You will see my stand-up and you will also see my podcast page as well too. By all means, please support little ones such as myself and Michelle. I appreciate her coming on. It was a dope conversation. We went off the cuff. We talked about everything. So I do appreciate it. And make sure you follow her fiance as well too. Support him. Like, comment, share, subscribe, rate, post. Anything that they got going on. Trust me, if you support us, we want to support you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I appreciate it. I'll be chatting up with you later.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.